Okay, so we're going to do something that might sound a little crazy. We're going to connect a simple nursery rhyme you probably learned as a kid to one of the most powerful financial principles out there. Yeah, it sounds weird, but trust me, it's going to make perfect sense.
It all starts with a tune that's probably familiar to a lot of us. You know the one I'm talking about, right? The rhyme about the elephant who goes for a walk and then calls another friend to join, and then they call another and another. It's a super simple story, but that core idea, accumulation, that's the secret we're about to unlock.
So what on earth can a children's rhyme teach us about building wealth? I know it sounds like a trick question, but the answer actually points to this fundamental rule that applies to everything from writing computer code to building a fortune. The logic behind it? It's exactly the same.
Let's dig into that. See, the rhyme was never really about the elephants themselves. It was our first ever lesson in accumulation. It's that moment you realize the incredible power of just adding one more.
The whole system is just so simple, right? One elephant shows up. He calls another. Now there are two. They call another. It's just a consistent process of adding one more, which leads to growth. That's the basic rule. Now, hang on to that idea because you're going to see it pop up again.
Okay, so as we get older, we level up. We move on from nursery rhymes and start learning new, much more powerful languages. And I don't just mean for talking to other people. I mean for talking to machines.
Let's take a look at Python. You can think of it like a translator. We humans write simple, almost English commands, basically a set of rules. And Python's job is to take those rules and translate them into the ones and zeros that computers actually get.
And this quote from its creator, Guido van Rossum, just hits the nail on the head. He said it was made for humans first. His whole goal was to take this really complex system, talking to a computer, and just simplify the rules so that anyone could pick it up and understand it.
All right, so we've got the simple accumulation system of the elephants. We've got the logical system of Python. So, what's the big language we all have to learn as adults? Well, it's the language of money. And you guessed it, just like the others, it's a system built on some surprisingly simple rules.
But here's the wild thing about this language. The money itself, it doesn't actually have any real value. I mean, a dollar bill is just a piece of paper with some ink on it, right? The only reason it works is because we all believe it works. It's this massive social agreement that this piece of paper is worth something.
Seriously, think about it. What's the only difference between a dollar bill and, say, a random stick on the ground? It's that shared belief. That's it. We as a society have just decided that one is valuable and the other isn't. The whole thing runs on trust.
And just like any language, money has its own grammar, these basic rules that make it all work. You can think of taxes as like the subscription fee we all pay to live in a society with roads and hospitals. Banks, they're basically matchmakers, connecting people who have money with people who need it. And interest? Well, that's just the rent you either pay for borrowing money or the reward you get for letting someone else use yours. So here's the cool part. Once you actually get these basic rules, this grammar of money, you can start to make that system work for you instead of you just working for it. And the absolute key is to use your money to buy things called assets. An asset is really simple. It's anything that puts more money in your pocket or just grows in value by itself over time. This is the #1 tool for building wealth, period.
And assets come in all shapes and sizes. It could be stocks, which is just a tiny piece of a company. It could be real estate, a house that you rent out. It could even be a business you own or your own unique skills that people are willing to pay you for. The point is, all of these things have the potential to grow. So the big question is, how do these assets actually grow? Well, this is where it all comes together. We're going right back to those elephants. The secret is something called compound interest, and I love this quote that describes it. It's when your money starts having clones, and those clones start paying you rent too. It's your money making more money for you.
Here's how it works. Let's say you invest $100. It earns, say, 7% interest. Great, you've got $7 extra. But here's the magic. Now you have $107 all earning interest. Your original money is calling more money to the party. It's literally the one elephant calls another principle, but with your finances.
Okay, let's bring this all home. From a simple kid's rhyme all the way to the engine that builds massive wealth. We've really just been looking at the exact same powerful idea. Think about it. Whether it's elephants piling up, lines of code building a program, or your dollars growing in an account, they're all just systems. And every system has rules. The trick is to understand the rules so you can make the system do what you want it to do. So here's the really important part. From that first elephant to your first $1 million, the principle is identical.
It's just simple rules of accumulation, repeated over and over and over again. You don't have to be a genius to master this stuff. You just have to understand the basic rules and then stick with it.
So now you see the systems, you get the rules. They're surprisingly simple, right? The real question isn't, can you understand this anymore? The real question is, what are you going to build?